PSG was founded by Jannie Mouton. Its main assets are Capitec, Curro Holdings, PSG Konsult, PSG Private Equity, and Zeder.
Right, so this is the Stellenbosch success story. Jannie Mouton's story, I think, is well understood. He started out as a stockbroker and shoehorned his way into a group with an over 40 billion rand market capitalization.
And we've got, exactly, to be more precise, 41.6 billion rand. I'm going to be on your case today. We want specifics. PE ratio 27 and a dividend yield of 1.7%. PSG, how does that stack up against the others in this fold?
Yeah, so this again has been a successful story of financial engineering again. Jannie Mouton, using his investment prowess, has really backed businesses that have been somewhat disruptive in their space and grown very aggressively. We're all very familiar with the Capitec success story, which is still the bulk of the underlying NAV, about 40%. But more recently, Curro, which they again have backed again recently. They underwrote the rights issue and put in about 730 million rand backing that the private schools group. So that's been a great success story. PSG Konsult, also excellent growth stories. So really they've got a great track record of backing their businesses, growing them and creating strong underlying businesses. So again, I guess the expectation is can that continue?
I want to bring the share price graph in at the early stage of this analysis. Paul?
Well, it is a slightly strange looking chart because it shot up and then it kind of had a bit of a rest. Its underlying assets have continued.
Resting. It looks as though it's still resting slightly.
Yeah, we've owned some in the portfolio, and I can't remember where we got them. I think we got them before the shoulder there, and then they went high, and we thought we were clever. Then they came back down again. But it's been because it's sort of growing and funding. They've had a rights issue right at the top, which was also spectacular timing on their part.
If I can interject here, the interesting thing that we did was to really consolidate our underlying positions in stocks like Curro, Capitec,
and Zeder, in fact.
And fold it into PSG.
Yeah, because we were short of funds in the portfolio, so decided to chicken out and just concentrate on the PSG, although we didn't put all of the value that we took out of those underlying entities into the PSG holding at the top.
Was it a good decision?
It was in relation to Zeder, which has fallen back quite sharply. I think we would have done better to stay in Curro, and Capitec's been interesting. It's kind of been a bit up and down. It's been a bit in the news, and it's had some good moments and some bad moments. I think marginally better. Would
you have made the same move that we did?
Yeah, look, it certainly makes sense. So the exposure that you get to PSG is the underlying assets and, okay, some of the sort of corporate activity that they take. But really what should guide your decision on that is that discount to NAV. So if you're in the underlying and you see the PSG discount widening, I think it would make a lot of sense to swap those assets into the holding company, and vice versa. If you feel it's expensive, where it spiked there, we saw over 270 rand. I think it was at a significant premium to NAV. Would have made sense to realize PSG and go back into the underlying.
So what discount are we at?
It's actually widened significantly now. It's around 14%. So it's actually looking quite attractive relative to its underlying.
So pretty much, I mean, Remgro, you said that an 18% discount to NAV. So there and thereabouts. Would you wait for it to pull back further before buying in?
No, this one's slightly different. They have quite a strong activity at the corporate center. They earn good fees from Zeder. They also earned a good underwriting fee for underwriting the Curro rights issue. So I guess by rights it should trade at a slightly lower discount, given that the corporate center is able to generate value.
Hot or not?
Look, we don't own them because of any discount to NAV and all that kind of mumbo jumbo.
No, it's not mumbo jumbo. I like this thesis.
We own them simply because it gives us something interesting to talk about on the show. And it's nice to own PSG. Jannie Mouton's been such a great success story, and we like talking about the underlying assets.
You know, everyone now is thinking, let's move our money to Rowan, take it out of the hot stocks portfolio, move it to nitrogen fund managers. At least he's got mathematical equations as to why he buys into certain stocks.
No, it's definitely hot. That's what I was trying to say.
Hot or not?
Look, if you like the underlying assets, it's hot at these levels.